Holy cow, 2 in a row. Gotta like this Brave browser. Hello, Crime Stoppers. Sorry about that. No, because then I went to go read where I was going to read from, and all the things are, of course, crashed. Right, the browser is crashed. And I've never seen that before, where the one tab is crashed exactly where I want to read from. How interesting that this happens. Anyway, all right. And then let me go put a couple of these things over here for you to enjoy. This one's called Mental Exercise. It's a YouTube channel. Anything, any video off of this will be useful. There's one. Let's see here. And then let me find Mind Pod Network. I like those guys too. They've got like all kind of cool books and so on. Let me put that over here. Right? Educate self with this. Better than YouTube. Netflix and stupid. I mean, you need those too, right? You gotta it's all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, but I mean, at the same time. And then, which one is this? Ancient Recitations. There you go. And this is all like old. Okay, we'll put that in. So here, more videos than you know what to do with. All right, that's good. Now, I'll never get all 17 people back. But it's just like, I don't want to just sitting there, bit of a crappy video while you're waiting for me to get my stuff together. But now you can just go back and watch. All right, Supreme Court of the United States, 1795. Inasmuch as every government is an artificial person, listen to this. Inasmuch as every government is an artificial person, an abstraction, and a creature of the mind only, a government can interface only with artificial persons. The imaginary having neither actuality or substance, nor substance, is foreclosed from creating and attaining parity with the tangible. The legal manifestation of this is that no government, as well as any law, agency, aspect, court, etc., can concern itself with anything other than the corporate artificial persons and the contracts between them. Supreme Court, Republic, 1795, 3 U.S. 54, 1 LED 57, 3 Doll 54. I'm going to read it one more time because this makes it, because we got confused. They confused us, and they confused us on purpose, making us think that one thing is another thing, and that we are something that we're not, and that we're something other than we are, and that a state is physical property or land. No, a state of Hawaii. That is a state of mind. That is a legal fiction. That is not a landmass. That is, you have to be in that state. You cannot be on that state, right? You can be on the island of Maui, but you can't be on Maui County. You can be in Maui County, but you can't be on it. You can't be on the county of Maui. You're in the county of Maui. Oh, those little words make so much difference. Oh, wait. I'm going to read a little more to you. But let me read this again. Inasmuch as every government is an artificial person, an abstraction, and a creature of the mind only, a government can interface only with other artificial persons, which is why if you read my paperwork, I will be acting as agent for the artificial person, because it's the artificial person that's going to sue the bonds of these motherfuckers that try to tell me to wear a mask. It's not going to be me. I'm going to represent that artificial person, and that artificial person and that other artificial person are going to have an interaction wherein this artificial person pays this artificial person for violating oaths of office, going outside their gubernatorial license, mayoral license, writing rules and orders that are contrary to the Constitution, which is contempt of Constitution, and a cavalcade of other misprision of felony, engaging in hoaxes, violating Constitution. I mean, on and on and on. All right. Anyway, the imaginary having neither actuality nor substance is foreclosed from creating. See, you got to look up that word. What does foreclosed mean? Is foreclosed from creating and attaining parity. What does parity mean? With the tangible. What does tangible mean? The legal manifestation of this is that no government. What does manifestation mean? As well as any law, agency, aspect, court. What does agency, aspect, or court mean? can concern itself with anything other than corporate artificial persons. What does that mean, corporate artificial person? Are you a corporate artificial person? Get one of these fucking books out and start reading. When you read these things, look how many words you need to look up. Abstraction, right? Artificial, artificial persons, foreclosed, parody, tangible, agency, aspect, court, corporate artificial persons, contracts between, right? You got to look them all up. Got to look up all those words. Got to know what they all mean. Right? I still hear people talking about a well-regulated militia, seeming to think that that has something to do with regulations or rules or things that are written down. Well-regulated means that the fucking guns work. Means that they have ammunition and food and stuff, right? And they've been trained. Well-regulated. Doesn't mean that they need lots of paperwork to tell them what to fucking do. It's painful. Educated people repeating that blows my mind. Anyway. Corpus juris secundum, corporations, that's section 886, legal encyclopedia. A corporation, all right, start from the beginning. A corporation is a citizen, resident, or inhabitant. Bam, there's a bunch of words you need to look up. What is a resident? I am not a resident of the county of Maui. I am not a resident of the state of Hawaii. You might think you are. And if you think you are, you are. Or an inhabitant of the state or county, or by under the laws of which it was created, and that state or county only. Right? A corporation is a citizen, resident, or inhabitant of the state or county by under the laws of which it was created, and of that state or county only. Corporations have a legal obligation to maximize profits. They're legally obligated to fuck you. They have to maximize profits. Right? Okay. So like I said, I had 17 at one point. I'm up to back up to 9. Anyway, that's okay. Watch the thing later at 2 times speed. I appreciate you guys watching it. I appreciate also somebody gave me like $5 Patreon, and another person kicked their Patreon of $15. Holy cow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Again, I'll do my best. I can only show you the doors. I can't do the paperwork for you. I can't walk through. All I can do is show you, walk down that door. Go down there. Right? There's information down there maybe you want. But I can't. And I'm not even holding your hand. Right? Don't ask. Don't fucking ask me to help you fill out. None of that. You do your own damn research. Let's see here. Corporations have a legal obligation to maximize profits. When government becomes a corporation, it ceases to be government. And lo and behold, I look up all my state of Hawaii. They got a DUNS number. Now they're a private corporate. State of Hawaii, the judiciary courts for the state of Hawaii, DUNS number, private corporation, acting in the public. State of Hawaii Department of Education, lo and behold, DUNS number. I found I found a lot of stuff since I talked to you last. And yes, they all exist. And yeah, some bears you don't want to poke. Other bears you have to let them know that you're not a corporate person, that you're a man or a woman, a celestial being, in the divine, Indian. See, and that's another one, Diane. See, and they pronounce it for you, Indian. No, it's in Diane. Lady Diana. What the hell? What is Diane? Well, go look up that word, Diane. You in Diane's, because you are in Diane's. But you don't know you're in Diane's. So you think you're not in Diane's. So you don't claim to be in Diane's. So you don't get any of the benefits of someone who is an in Diane. All right. When government becomes a corporation, it ceases to be government. See the Clearfield Doctrine. Maybe you should look up the Clearfield Doctrine. Just saying. All right. Really, and I took that break and then I didn't get myself a cup of tea. That's just dumbassery on my part. All right, and by becoming a corporator, what the hell is that? Lays down its sovereignty. I'm not gonna speak English. It's hilarious. I get all excited here. I'm excited. Okay. So let's everybody take a breath and relax. But this information is interesting to me, and also the fact that, yeah, we went to slave school. They stuck us in fucking slave school for 18 years and didn't tell us shit. And the thing that it blows me away too is Manly P. Hall in all of his long dissertations. Yeah, he don't tell you about your state of being, but he don't. Anyway, very interesting though. But like I said, go take a look at those that I put in the chat there, and there's a lifetime of videos, like the hours. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of hours of videos. You can spend this whole year and you won't watch them all. And if you do watch them all, you'll be learned, and you will have a very good idea of what's been done to you and what you can do about it. All right. That is hugely important, though. When a government becomes a corporation, it ceases to be a government. And by becoming a corporator, it lays down its sovereignty so far as respects transaction of the corporation, and it exercises no power or privilege which is not derived from the charter. Now, this is the thing. Once again, if they're running their corporation in contravention to our Constitution, they don't get a license. Every one of them has a corporate license, right? If they're a public company, and they're not private corporations that can do it or say what they want. And even if they were, they still can't run their business in contravention to the Constitution. So them telling you that, oh, we can censor your, no, they can't. Oh, we can take that to, no, they can't. They cannot license your right to travel back to you. If you're a driver, you need a license, yeah, because you're using those roadways, which you don't understand are sea lanes, which because they use words that confuse you, because you think that you're a person driving on a highway when actually, or wait a minute, you think you're a man or a woman traveling on a highway when actually you're a person using a sea lane and you might be using it for profit, so they want a piece of that. And again, what they did is they brought the admiralty law onto the land. All right, so let's keep going. Corporations being fictions from which no law may originate. Wait. Did you catch that? Fictions may not originate law. They can write statute all fucking day long, and they do, but they cannot originate law. Right? They cannot make law. They did not originate you. You originated all that paperwork. For you are the genesis of all of it. And what they did was, for 75 years, you have a contract, which it was made in fraud, that unlawfully converted you from man or woman to a corporate thing, to a dead thing, to a corporate fiction. And now that other fiction, known as your government, United States, state of Hawaii, county of Maui, the government may interface with you. But you thought that they were interfacing with you, but no, they're interfacing with the documents, with the pieces of paper. See this right here? These are my certificates that tell you where I was born and so on, right? I got a bunch of them. This one doesn't have, see, and I got to make a copy and then attach these other ones because they got smart and they realized, oh, wait a minute, this guy seems to be, this guy may have cracked some code here. So we're not giving him this document again, because this document has those numbers at the bottom that makes it so that you can find your bonds and so forth. But you still need the other document to let them know that you were illegally converted. Or excuse me, unlawfully converted, because it was all legal. And there's a difference between law and legal. Corporations being fictions from which no law may originate, as no right of action may originate from fraud. Do you understand now how you get it? Okay, so it's all based on fraud. So fraud vitiates everything. So they can't make law because they're frauds, invalidating much of the last 100 years of American jurisprudence, both state and national legislation. Do you understand that they absolutely want to get rid of that man, the bad orange man? The bad orange man was going to reveal a lot of this stuff. Well, is going to reveal a lot of this stuff. And they are so screwed. And they know they're screwed. And now what they're hoping is that you guys don't turn violent. I'm hoping that you guys don't turn violent either, because it's easy to kick down the sandcastle, but it's really hard to build the thing back up again. It takes forever. but you can burn the whole fucking thing down in a week. So we need to make sure that, all right, there are some shepherds, as it were, that understand this stuff that can try to mitigate the the righteous anger of their fellows. All revenue now belongs to Admiralty Maritime Jurisdiction. That's the Huntress, and neither for profit. Wait, and neither quote neither for profit government nor the profit. Wait a minute. I gotta relax. Neither for profit government nor the foreign statute merchant or agent has access to sovereign immunity, even though the agent himself have been unaware of the limitations upon his authority. See Utah Power and Light Company versus United States 2243 US 389 409 391, United States versus Stewart 311 US 6070 108, and in regard to Floyd acceptances 7 Wall 666 United States v. Stewart 311 US 60, 70, and 108, and Federal Crop Insurance v. Merrill. That's an important one, actually. Federal Crop Insurance v. Merrill is one you should read and know about a little more. 332 US 380 1947. All right, got to know some of these cases just because just look them over and know what they mean and what was decided there. But all revenue now belongs to Admiralty Maritime Jurisdiction, and neither for profit government nor the foreign statute merchant or agent has access to sovereign immunity, even though the agent himself may have been unaware of the limitations on his authority. So in other words, he could have been acting in earnest and didn't realize that his authority didn't extend that far, and it's your job to let him know. And this is the thing. A lot of these guys think that they have what is it? It's going to be imminent immunity. That's your police officer on the side of the road coming up to your car thinking that he's immune. Also sovereign immunity, but they do not have immunity as soon as you let them know that they're violating your constitutional rights or violating their oath of office, which is to uphold that Constitution. So if you let them know, and you're going to need video and witnesses, at least 2, so that you can say in a court of law or an actual court that, wait a minute, I informed this guy that he was about to violate my constitutional rights that were protected, right? Then you don't have constitutional rights, right? That Constitution, again, protects rights that you already have. Didn't give you anything. All right, so if they're about to violate your fundamental rights, and you inform them and they do it anyway, they no longer have immunity. But you got to let them know first, because if they didn't know, right, then they didn't know. But if you let them know, now they know. All right, and so that's why your paperwork has to go in ahead of time. Excuse me, you didn't right? Violations of due process. You didn't. Right, due process starts from point of contact. So you need to fucking let me know who you are. You need to identify yourself. What's your name? What's your badge number? What's your bond number? What's your license number? Who the fuck are you? Anybody can dress up as a cop and put a fucking blue light on top of their car, right? I'm not outside my bounds, and you may not convert my right constitutionally protected rights into privileges or penalize or harm me for exercising my right to due process, my right to be left alone, my right. I mean, you can't, right? And they do it all the time because you let them get away with it, and nobody holds them to account, right? Because you're chicken shit, and you know it. So quit being chicken shit, get your fucking paperwork in, and you won't be so chicken shit. And because right now, yeah, they own you. But when you start putting the documents in and let them know, hey, I'm not dead. Hey, you can't. This is my body, not your body. You may not be the leasee, right? You could be the leasee, but I can't be the leasee, right? I can be the leaseor, I can be the grantor, I can be the landlord, I can have lordship, but I cannot be, and then we got to start talking about ships and citizenship and all that kind of stuff, but I cannot be converted into chattel property. This is my property, and I fucking do with it what I will, as long as I don't hurt somebody else. As long as I stay on my square, right? You got fucking nothing to say about it. All right. Government may also be bound by the doctrine of equitable estoppel. There's a word you need to know: estoppel, and then equity. You're going to spend a long time with the term equity. Okay, government may also be bound by the doctrine of equitable estoppel if acting in proprietary for-profit nature rather than sovereign capacity, right? Proprietary. That's what proprietary, for profit, right? That's why you make your ideas, or it's proprietary. This is a proprietary recipe. This is a proprietary whatever it is, right? Means for profit, right? Rather than a sovereign capacity. The savings to the suitor clause is also available for addressing mercantile and admiralty matters, aka civil process. Okay, at the common law and with state court, or by removal to federal district court exercising admiralty maritime jurisdiction, in which the state may not hear cases against the state or agent thereof. Let's see here. Public officials and even judges have no immunity, as officers and judges are deemed to know the law and sworn to uphold the law, and cannot claim to act in good faith in willful deprivation of law. In other words, you can't claim to know the law, be a judge or an officer or whatever, know the law, and then deprive people of law and then say that you're ignorant of it. Public officers and even judges have no immunity, as officials and judges are deemed to know the law and sworn to uphold the law, cannot claim to act in good faith in willful deprivation of law. They certainly cannot plead ignorance of the law, and even the citizen cannot plead ignorance of the law. The courts have ruled there is no such thing as ignorance of the law. It is ludicrous for learned officials and judges to plead ignorance of the law. Therefore, It is ludicrous for learned officials and judges to plead ignorance of the law. Therefore, there is no immunity, judicial or otherwise, in matters of right secured by the Constitution for the United States of America. Listen to the words, not the Constitution of the United States. Constitution for the United States of America. And let's see here. What are the sites? You can see Owens v. City of Independence, 100 SCT 1398, Maine versus Thibotot, Thibout, Thibotot. I like it. Anyway, Maine versus Thibotot, 100 SCT 2502, and Haffer versus Malo, 502 US 21 title. I should just put those things in here on the side. I'll try and do that in a second. Okay. The 11th Amendment does not protect state officers from claims for prospective relief when it is alleged that state officials acted in violation of federal law. Are you guys catching this? Kind of important. Holy crap, you guys are typing away over there. Like I said, I had 17. Now I'm down to 8. You guys. Let me finish. I just want to make sure, because I'm reading over here and then I come back and I've been talking to myself this whole time. This has happened more than once. All right, so anyway, you're still here. The 11th Amendment does not protect state officials from claims for prospective relief when it is alleged that state officials acted in violation of federal law. Warnock v. Pecos County, Pecos, there you go. Warnock v. Pecos County, Texas, 88 F3D 341, 5th Circuit, 1996. Officers of the court have no immunity when violating a constitutional right from liability. All right, there you go. Officers of the court have no immunity when violating a constitutional right from liability. Right, so you got to hold these guys to account. They are liable, for they are deemed to know the law. Owen v. Independence, 100 SCT 1938, 45 US 622. And inadequate training of subordinates may be basis for Title II 42 subsection 1983 claim. Title 42, I had a judge walk out of the courtroom when I mentioned Title 42. Just so you know, they know. They know. They have no subject matter jurisdiction. They have no personal jurisdiction. They have no anything. They have only the ability to interact with corporate fictions and other corporate fictions. They may not act. Okay, you represent that. You are agent for that, but you are not that. You are not the same thing as that. That's what I told the IRS. I have no evidence, right? And now I know they don't know because I got my green card back finally, right? This was delivered in December. Again, you don't need this thing, but just nice to have, right? Just, hey, look, I know you got it, right? I sent you that letter. I know you have it. And that number on here is going to match the letter that I have. And then I send them another letter. And then I send them another letter. And then I'm done with the IRS. Okay, then I got to send other people letters. And again, when push comes to shove in the future, they can't say they didn't know because I fucking told them 3 times, right? Don't fucking pretend that you don't know what bonds. What bonds do you have? What are you talking about? Well, too bad. I informed you, and I know you know, and now you know. I know you know, right? Okay. And you got to be cordial, and you got to stand your ground, but at the same time, you can't let these fucking idiots intimidate you because they had cause. They are the cause of the confusion. They are absolutely why we're in this state. And they want this state of confusion so that they can extract wealth from you and I. And so they keep us in line. And so you can trust the plan and never do anything about these people yourself, right? I plan to stand up and be able to point my finger at these fuckers and accuse, right? Or they can kill me. Period. But they're not going to shut me up, and they're not going to continue with their criminal activity, right? Simple. And you guys can cower all you want and run away and pretend like, but it doesn't stop until such time as the people in mass put their foot down. You can't put your foot down as a slave. Well, I'm sorry, you're not a slave. You're a bonded free man or bonded free woman. You're not actually a slave. You're just bonded. Tell me the difference. Okay, officers of the court have no immunity when violating a constitutional right from liability, for they are deemed to know the law. I read that already. Public officers are merely the agents of the public whose powers and authority are defined and limited by law. Any act without the scope of the authority so defined does not bind the principal, and all persons dealing with such agents are charged with knowledge of the extent of their authority. They're supposed to know. If they don't know, you can point it out to them, and then they have no excuse. Continental Casualty Company versus United States 113. I'll put all these in there. The governments are but trustees acting under under derived. They deprive us. They have derived authority. Okay, the governments are but trustees acting under derived authority and have no power to delegate what is not delegated to them. I can't tell you to put a mask on, so they can't tell somebody else to. But the people, as the original fountain, might take away what they have delegated and entrust to whom they please. The sovereignty in every state resides in the people of the state, and they may alter and change their form of government at their own pleasure. In fact, when the government becomes tyrannical, your founding fathers told you that it was your duty to change the government. Let's see here. The High Court confirmed that the term United States can and does mean 3 completely different things. What? Says it right here in black and white. I'll put it over here in a second. The High Court confirmed that the term United States can and does mean 3 completely different things, depending on the context. That's Hooven and Allison Company versus Evatt, 324 U.S. 652, 1945, United States versus Cruikshank and United States v. Bevins. Bevins is the ones that I was familiar with. I was not familiar with the other 2. The United States government is a foreign corporation with respect to a state. All right, so you got to understand foreign, alien, domestic. Foreign, they're not alien to each other. They're foreign to each other, right? Hawaii and California are foreign to each other. Hawaii and Japan are alien to each other. County of Maui and Hawaii, County of Maui is domestic with regard to state of Hawaii. You got to know what the words mean. United States is a foreign European corporation conducting trade and commerce in foreign lands. All right, let me start knocking these things out. This gives you the ability to go have fun. Holy cow, you guys are writing all kind of stuff. All right, so let me just put that. Boink. We're going to go backwards. You guys getting information now. I'm giving you guys information. You guys use this information and then you guys go do stuffs. Because you need to, like I said, you just gotta write this stuff down. And right. And again, you probably don't want to put all this stuff in your documents, but you want to be aware of it, and you may want to refer to it in an attachment or something. But see, they're going to try and trick you into thinking we didn't know. We thought we could tell you to put a mask on. We're not in trouble or anything, are we? We don't want to pay you. All right. Did that go? Yes. All right. Why doesn't it? Oh, there you go. What happened? Oh, great. Oh, see? It's not allowing me to put any more comments in. Why not? And if I try to... Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. More. These are just short little quotes. See, and this is the other thing. Do not cut and paste and stick these into your documents. That's like just... They love it because they know most likely that you're lazy and... Oh. Huh. All right. So now all of a sudden I can't share these. Interesting. What the fuck? All right, I'll put them as comments afterwards since this interface now is all of a sudden not working and I can't put the quotes in there. All right, but anyway, these are all the ones I just read. Look for them afterwards. I'll put them down underneath in comments or something because you kind of sort of need this stuff. All right, what else was I gonna do today? What do you want to do today? Anything I want. Let's see here. Oh, aliens exist and Trump almost let it slip, says an Israeli official. Uh, is there more? There's so much more. Oh, and the plan really is, in fact, working. You guys got to just understand that people are going to die, so they can't just half-ass it. They kind of sort of have every I dotted and every T crossed, or maybe somebody slips through. So they got to do this very methodically and meticulously. But if you think that Donnie just went home after they stole an election that he knew they were going to steal, and that somehow this isn't treason, and that the CCP actually, in fact, manage to get their government in and took over the United States, and that the United States military was just, no, you don't know what to do. Well, then you're silly. There's Space Force, there's Marines, there's a lot of people there's U.S. Marshals. There are a lot of hard men in hard places doing hard things as we speak so that you guys can be dumb and continue to be fucking cowards that don't know the law and refuse to fucking stand up for yourselves and expect that somebody else will do it for you. How's that been working out so far? How's that working? You paying tax that you don't know? Some of you sitting there in the fucking cold with no heat. Oh, here is something that was very interesting to me. Symbol. I wrote it down in big orange red letters, right? Power locked in picture. The thing about the Masons, and many other brotherhoods. Not the Masons are the ones that get all the fanfare and so forth because people found out about one of the brotherhoods, and then they do their best to keep you from understanding what it is they are and what they do. Overall, the bulk, just like the bulk of the Christians haven't read the. That's not true of the Masons, though. But the bulk of the Christians haven't read the Bible and have no idea. And if they have read the Bible, they know exactly one cipher, and it's the literal translation. It's not the, they don't know any of the other ciphers. Let's put it that way. They know the dumbest cipher. And now I'm hearing this from other Masons. If you only know the literal translation, Christ was a man that walked around and did stuff, and you don't understand the metaphors, and you don't understand the bigger symbology going on there, well, then you're the dumbass. And you prove that you're the dumbass because you don't know what the metaphors mean. You don't know what the stories mean. You only know the literal translation. Okay, the literal translation obviously isn't it. All right, but in the yeah, let's get rid of all of this. Ugh. Where my eraser went? Okay. Oh shoot! I shouldn't erase that. Alsjeblieft. That's me studying Dutch. Ik ben een man. That's about as much as I can do. All right. That symbol right there. You gotta look. I'm gonna do a thing on Tarot and talk about this symbol right here, and you'll see it. What is that? That should be pretty obvious what that is. Well, it's obvious to me now that I know, but that's a man, and that's another symbol. Anyway, all right. So, but yeah, you'll see this with the all-seeing eye in it. That's a heck of a symbol. This has to do with Saturn. This has to do with the fact that our solar system wasn't as quiet as it is now, always. The sun and Saturn and Jupiter, there's a whole lot going on. This thing's been around for a long time. Those of you that are fooled into thinking that we only been here 6,000 years, all right. But no. And we have leftover remnants of people that held that knowledge for a long time. And the ancient knowledge is codified in symbol and pictures and words and sounds. But anyway, it's like Pepe the Frog or any meme that you're familiar with, like with the white cat and so forth. Okay, you know all about. You may not even know the origin of the meme, but you understand what the meme means. Okay, same thing with the Masons. They may not know the origin. Some of them do. The ones that hold the higher knowledge know how it became Pepe the Frog and why he became a meme, or why it's the white cat, or the Willy Wonka one, right? So he always says had some kind of snide comment or something, right? Like, I bet you still believe in global warming, or I haven't been wearing a mask for months. How long you've been telling me that this is going to kill you? How long is this going to take? With his little teacup, right? With Willy Wonka, you get it, right? The sarcastic Willy Wonka. It's the same thing with a lot of their pictures, right? And their gods, okay, and their pictures, it represents that meme, the goddess of love, the goddess of wine, the god of avarice and greed, the god of wisdom and justice, the god of, all right, personified in a man, and then they can just have a picture of that man eating a baby, for example, and you know what it means. You can have the picture of the maiden, just like being frustrated or sad or disgusted, and anyway, and it's all in a picture, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. It's not a joke. So they understand that they can use symbol to rule, and they can use symbol even if you don't know what the symbols mean. Your subconscious mind can be affected with those symbols. So they put the symbols around you all the time. It's the symbols. That's how you're going to know them. That's how they love symbol. All right, so you gotta know what the symbol. And if you look at the tarot, you'll see those symbols. And then here's something I'll just toss your way. Instead, usually it's that. It's supposed to be a bird head. You'll see that symbol and sometimes with a tear inside. But anyway, but you'll see that that's supposed to be a bird. Instead of that, and even that crappy drawing, you kind of sort of know what that's supposed to be. That's supposed to be a scorpion. So just understand that these two symbols can be interchanged. And then I need to go find my tarot cards and hold them up and tell you about all the different symbols that are in there. Because believe it or not, tarot has to do with all of this, your law and all the whole thing, and your place in this place. But and that's just through symbols. They're telling you the ancient stories and giving you the ancient knowledge. I told you about. All right, so if you were watching some of these other ones, standing on your square. Right. And then you could see that one Bob Marley video that I put up. Oh, and I got to talk about that. All I ever have, right? You have all forever, right? Have ever I all. You have, right? Because they read backwards and forwards. All I ever have, redemption songs. No. All I ever have. I have ever, forever. I have it all forever. That's what this sentence means. I get, right? Have ever I all. But the idea is if you fall off of this square, right? You stand on your square, you're fine. Where's you stand on your square? All right. You're standing on your square, but then somebody pisses you off and you step off your square and you cause them harm or loss. Or maybe you disturb the peace. Or maybe you decided that, fuck it, I'll engage in mischief in my contracts. Well, what happens? You fall off your square. Then you're down here in Babylon and you are subject to governance. You are subject to others. You are subject to justice. Who is justice? Well, justice is a man seated on a throne between the two pillars. What are the two pillars? And those are the pillars you fell off of, by the way, one or the other. And now you're going to be subject. He can see you, and you're going to be held up in judgment, right? The scales are down, the sword is up. You get on that scale, and if you're found wanting, the sword comes down in your head or your neck, right? Or you can be set free if it was a minor infraction, whatever. But the justice must see. Justice is coming. Who is justice? What card is that? What number is that? The Hierophant. I am claiming, and see, I get that. I claim the immunity of the Hierophant. The Hierophant, see, knowledge doesn't care. Like I said, like a hammer. Doesn't give a shit how you use the knowledge. Doesn't care, right? I can use this to butter my toast. I can use this to cause you extreme pain. The thing doesn't care. Okay, the Hierophant gives you the knowledge and doesn't care how you use the knowledge, because a lot of times a little knowledge is dangerous, and a little knowledge can actually harm you more than it can help you. So this is why I say make sure you know what the words mean. Make sure you know what the fuck you're doing before you do anything. But at the same time, don't get analysis paralysis. What you need to do is declare the fact, declare and ordain, acknowledge and establish the fact that you are me, myself, and I are we. You are you, and I am me. You need to know who you are. You are those three things that are one thing, right? It's hopefully, right? I, me, myself, all of that is we, and we are celestial beings. We are men. We are, and I don't give a shit if you have a womb. You're still a man. You're a man with a womb. This is why we call you womb-man. But we're all men. We are not persons. We are not dead things. We are not corporate things. We are not things that are fictions. We are real. We are not actors, right? We are actual. You need to understand the difference, and you need to understand and declare and ordain your divinity, that you are in Diane. Look up the word Diane, and you're gonna not find it in a dictionary. You're gonna have to find it in etymology or in word dictionaries that say, what is this word name? Like Ben? What does Ben mean? What does Diane mean? What does Justin mean? What does Zari mean? What does Ballard mean? You can go look up those names actually. But the idea being is that all the words have meaning. So you are in Diane. You need to declare the fact that you are a divine creature, heavenly, in divine, in heaven. You're not in heaven or divine right now. You're absolutely in hell. You have made agreements in other dimensions, other places that have validity here. And you need to work out those agreements. So sometimes you ever be the only one where, let's say you go to a seminar or something, or you go to a thing and everybody, it works for everybody else, but not you. Maybe it's because your higher self is keeping a vow that you made that you're not aware of. So perhaps you need to go back and erase some of those vows that you're not aware of. How do you do that? Meditation and prayer is how you do that. So if you took a vow of poverty, you might be holding to that vow of poverty. Vow of poverty right now might not be the best thing for you because it would make it difficult. If you had money, getting ready for what came in Texas was no problem. You went down, stocked your larder, bought some extra candles, bought some things that create heat, I hope, regardless of electricity. And you're sitting pretty and fine. All of my wealthy clients are dandy. All of my wealthy clients have no issue, right? All of my poor clients, most of them canceled class because they didn't have electricity or internet because they had no backup because they didn't understand the concept of redundancy. Some of them could come to class because they did have power, but they were complaining about how fucking cold it was and the fact that, you go to the store and there's nothing there. How the hell are food shortages in the United States, wealthiest country in the United States? Okay, well, bottom line is when it wasn't raining, that was the time to prepare. Now that it's fucked in Texas and other places, you're a little late. But did I warn you? I absolutely fucking warned you, right? That didn't have to be the government. It could be weather. And there's a possibility, I'm not saying it happened, there's a possibility that they might be giving you a narrative about renewables to further their quote unquote non-renewables, coal, natural gas, oil. These things are actually very, very rich in BTUs, and with just a little more tweaking, could be quite a bit more efficient and give you a lot more energy and a lot more heat and a lot more power for a lot less money using the same amount of material. But they won't even give us that. That's coming though. But again, renewables step in the right direction because you can have your little solar charger thinger, bopper. But at the same time, you might want to take a look at magnets and spin and the fact that water is fuel and the fact that they've been fucking us for so long. This is the first stages of people starting to realize, wait a minute, the direction we're going might not be the right direction. So we take a step back onto fossil fuels, which is complete bullshit. There's another complete bullshit story to go with their bullshit story of global warming, which is bullshit, and their bullshit story of their bullshit stories that are bullshit that are bullshit. They're just nonstop lies. You start to realize the whole fucking thing is a fraud. All right, once you realize that everything's a fraud, don't get angry. Just fix the fraud to the best of your ability for your personal situation. Myself, I use as, and part of the reason why I'm in Hawaii, I would be cranking up the heat if I was in the mainland, and that would use up a lot of energy. So I have when I was in Idaho, I assure you, we had numerous ways to make heat that had nothing to do with a power company or a third power, anybody else. Plus, you're surrounded by wood, so why wouldn't you put up wood? I remember I was in the Panhandle of Idaho, and it was, I don't know, probably August, maybe July, August, September. It wasn't late in the season, but it was headed toward fall. And I had been putting up wood. I had this big ass double garage, and I had this big furnace that burned wood that provided heat to the whole place that I was in at the time. Interesting. I learned a lot about different kinds of woods and how tamarack. Yeah, you want tamarack. That shit burns hot. But and pine. But I had set up. I don't remember how many cords I had, but I had what I thought was a pretty good wood because I'd been putting it up all summer. Wasn't killing myself. I just like put up a little bit and a little bit. Then I had a large double garage. In other words, it wasn't just enough room for like I had 2 bays for 2 cars, and then there was a lot of room on either side. And then the thing was back. You probably could have put 6 cars in there. But anyway, it was a large double car. Okay, and the whole back wall, too thick to the ceiling, was well, actually, that's not true. But about halfway to the ceiling was stacked with firewood. And one of my neighbors came and looked at that and goes, "Is that all the wood you got put up for winter?" And I said, "Well, I'm gonna put up more, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm doing." And he just looks at me and shakes his head like, "That ain't enough wood." Next day, 4 pickup trucks, 3 of whom I never knew these people, don't know who they are, show up in my yard and they're like, "We gotta go get you some wood." And I was like, "Okay." And we did. We filled up, right? And these are just guys. They didn't know me from fucking Adam. They were not the same color as me. We're in Idaho, where everybody's racist, right? And we went and sawed wood. These boys, I mean, right? I fed them beer and got them pizza afterwards, but they wouldn't take any money. And we just sawed wood. And I mean, chainsaws cost money to maintain. Fuel, I bought a lot of the fuel, but most of them they use their own damn gas and mix. And we sawed wood all fucking day, and then we stacked wood all afternoon and into the evening until I had wood stacked to the ceiling, and I was about 3 deep. And they looked at me and go, "That should get you through winter." Right now, next time they were putting up wood, I would be expected to show up and help somebody else put up wood because that's the way we work. Right? We're supposed to cooperate with each other. Right? The color of my skin had nothing to do with nothing. They didn't want me freezing to death. Right? And by fuck sure they didn't have to do that. They had no reason, and again, they had no. They weren't doing it so they could get something out of me. They had no idea or expectation of return. Right? Those are Christian men. Okay. Living in Idaho, and see, they got you thinking that we're all racist and we all hate each other and we all got to be right and you got to wear your mask and stay home and 6 feet of distance and blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Right? We're Americans. We're all Americans. Many of you are still U.S. persons. You need to get out from under that whore and become a U.S. Expatriate from being a U.S. person and become a United States of America citizen. Claim your citizenship, claim your right, claim your ability as a man or a woman to be a part of that republic and enforce the law. Right? All right. I do have so much more that I want to go over, but I got stuff to do and I got letters to write. And this is the other thing. Oh, should I read that? Here, I'll read that. Let me pull this up. This is again, I don't recommend it. Oh, Monsignor Gary Secor, Chancery on Bishop Street in Hawaii, and the Vicar General in New York. By the way, motherfuckers, you don't own me. Coming from me, Very Reverend Monsignor Secor, please state the lawful authority upon which you rely that deprives me of my liberty and my free will. Failure to respond is agreement that you have none. It has come to my attention. I'm going to change this a little bit because it's a little too harsh to start off. Like, allow me to introduce myself. Why don't I introduce myself first before I start getting pissy? It has come to my attention that due to certain papal bulls and other secret agreements, and the secret is spelled with an E on the end, I must formally renounce certain claims upon my soul and person and upon the estate and property thereof. Please note the following and execute my will. And I'm probably going to put execute my will with due care. And again, this has to be written. I'm reading this as a document that I wrote on my, word processor, but you should write it with your hands, right? Given by your hand. So notice, I am a man that lives on the island of Maui, right? I am, state your name. Please allow me to introduce myself and please recognize me. See, that should come first before I get there. I am the remnant of the original people of the continent commonly called North America. I was born, blah, blah, blah. State your lineage. Go back as far as you can. I know somebody can go back 65 fucking generations. 7 is all you need. 3 is enough. Claims and declaration. I'm a living man, right? Living soul am I. Celestial being am I. Lord am I. Or landlord am I. I am not I am not incorporated nor subject to incorporation. Actually, I am, but you know what I mean. I am living soul. No earthly corporation, organization, man, or woman has superior claim over my eternal soul, my body, estate, or personal property other than I myself do. My soul is committed to Christ Jesus. I renounce all other claims over my estate, my person, my soul, my body is my as is my right, guaranteed by treaty and fundamental law. Nor church or state may interlope between I myself and the Lord God, my creator. I claim absolute ownership of the names and legal fictions and corporate persons, and then name them all, right? Your name in all caps, your name with usually the middle initial, right? Your last name first, and then your first name in all caps. Your last name first, and then your first name with the middle initial. All right. Those are 4 different entities. Those are 4 different fictions. Some are creditors, some are debtors. All of them have been created unlawfully. They have been converted into corporate persons, into corporate fictions that the state and federal governments can interact with, and other corporations can interact with. Once again, understand the story of you go to Walmart, you're a man, the lady behind the counter is a woman, but then you take out your credit card or your checkbook, which is the fictional corporate thing, right? And on that account, it'll say your name in all caps. And then down here on the check, it'll say authorized representative, and that's where you sign. And you're authorizing the debt to go from you to them. And then they give you, do I have one handy? Yes, they give you one of these things. You call it a receipt, but actually this is a transit pass that allows you to take those items out of the store and put them in your car and take them home. And you haven't paid for a fucking thing. That was debt and transfer of debt. And it doesn't finish until such time as you take your receipt and you give it to the Treasury Secretary or your Secretary of State. Anyway, there's a way to go get reimbursed for every dime that you've spent. But that's beyond the scope of this. Anyway, this is just me letting the Catholic Church know you don't own my soul. And your papal bulls and your claims on my soul, I renounce them. Anyway, wait a minute. Am I done? Okay. Where was I before I got on that tangent? Okay. I claim absolute ownership of the names and legal fictions, corporate persons, blah, 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 blah. I'll list them for my sole use and benefit and any and all value attached thereto. These legal fictions, entities are mine and no others. I revoke power of attorney from all other agents, officers, employees, and or their delegates representing any church or state organization other than my chosen exchequer. I vacate these names from the position of trustee, leasee, or any and all trust accounts created using documents attached in favor of the executor I have chosen. I am Aboriginal as defined by treaty. I descend directly through paternal lineage from those who were on North America before United States was created in 1871, and for fuck sure before the Constitution of 1776. In Dianes and Moors, I claim my Aboriginal status for myself and my estate and heirs. I am remnant of the people who were upon the land of North America before 1776 and the creation of the United States of America. I am non-assumpsant. My consent is not of or on record. I do not consent to the waiver of any of my rights, nor the use of my names by others, nor the usufruct or usurpation of my property. I am non-citizen national. U.S. person, I am not. U.S. citizen, I am not. Federal citizen, I am not. I am Christian, not Muslim, although I acknowledge the existence of the Prophet Muhammad, a pedophile. I am baptized. More am I. Indian am I. Able to govern myself. Notice use of my names, estate, and persons by those unauthorized constitutes sin. All encumbrances must be removed as they violate my God-given right to free will. Penalties for these violations are not settled in earthly courts. Forgive my trespass if I forgive those who trespass against me, and please execute my will with due care and remove all liens, blockades, estoppels, encumbrances that are upon my estate, trusts, or persons, so that my estate can be settled and my free will preserved. May God have mercy on our souls. All right. That's my letter. That's not your letter. That's my letter. You put what you want in your letter. Some people think that's too dramatical. But it's not. And see, I didn't put the I, myself, me, myself, and I are we. And we are celestial beings. That needs to go in there. So see, I'm not done with it. And I probably need to take some stuff out. And, right? I mean, it's not done yet. That is a work in progress. Okay. Not that one. This one. Nope. Where is it? I have one more letter I want to read to you, and then we're going to call it a day. I'm not reading you that one. Oh, there it is. Yay. State of Hawaii Department of Accounting and General Services, Risk Management Office. And County of Maui Department of Corporate Counsel, Risk Management Division. And it's so cool because one of my high school classmates, and she's a little hottie. I think she's a lesbian, but I tutored her nieces, and she paid for those. Uh-oh. Anyway, I look forward to. Actually, I don't think she will. They'll probably take her off the case because we know each other. But I would look forward to matching wits with her. But you got to notify risk management. Okay, so risk management. Who is risk management? Risk management is the guys. Every one of you has a risk management, just like it. Your county and your state has risk management. So you need to, because the. Uh-oh. Now I lost the letter. Hold on a second. Because you have to notice them. There it is. Oops. Get out of here. Get out of here. There it is. All right. And you get out of here. Okay. Oops. Don't want to read that one. I should probably. God, I got so much. Okay. So this one, what I'm going to do is put it as comments underneath. So come and read the comments. I'm going to put lots and lots of fun stuff in the comments, not just a description of this thing. All right. Is that it? Yes. All right. Certified mail. You got to put your certified mail number in there, right? So that you can identify the document so that you know that you sent it to them. I just had that and I showed it to you numerous times. All right. So notice of intent to sue bonds of certain state of Hawaii and county of Maui employees. And notice I put state of Hawaii and county of Maui in all caps and with the quotations around it. Those concerned, allow me to introduce myself. I am, and then your name in all lowercase, right? Not in caps, in lowercase. And like I said, certified mail number is that number right there. So you can identify your documents that you sent it to them, and you can prove that it was delivered on such and such date, and they signed for it, and you gave them notice, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I am a man who lives on the Valley Isle of Maui. I am non-resident of County of Maui or State of Hawaii. I am authorized to represent, but have no evidence that I am the same as those legal names in all caps. And I wrote all four of them. And I will be suing bonds on behalf of these persons who are currently bankrupt and insolvent and make no complaint or claim at this time. Although these persons are bankrupt and insolvent, I am competent to give notice. Notice! Your service corporations cannot diminish my God-given rights by statute, neither may you impair or lien my property and or my inalienable rights, or excuse me, my unalienable rights by statute, code, or contract, secret or otherwise. I waive no right, none, not any. I reserve all rights. I reserve the right to make claims against the bonds of those who have violated my fundamental rights as provided by law. Right? I'm not doing anything that's not provided by law. I'm not a renegade. I'm not an outlaw. I'm not a scofflaw. I'm doing what's provided by law. You fucking violated my fucking rights. I have the right to complain, and you have taken out insurance with private corporations in case you step on my toes and I make a claim, you can pay me for stepping on my toes. You have these bonds for this exact purpose. Your service corporation cannot diminish my God-given rights by statute, neither may you impair or lien my property and or my inalienable rights by statute, right? Okay. Anyway, my once my estate is restored and my right, I'm not changing my status. I'm restoring my estate. I'm reclaiming my manhood, my lordship, my what's the word I want? My landlordship of this person, of this body, of this husk, of this. It becomes garbage the second you die. Just went to a funeral again, right? What happens as soon as you're dead, right? That was my loving mother who took care of me, and as soon as she was dead, I had to either burn or bury it. It turns into garbage. Okay, they've leased that from you. They've turned you into the leasee, and they are the leaseor by document and contract. You need to rearrange that agreement so that you have lordship over this and not them. All right, once my estate is restored, it is my intent to make claims, and it's true. It fucking sounds like insanity, but it's true. Go do your damn research. They think they own you. And not only that, the fucking Pope says he owns your spirit. Okay, and and part of that back in the day was because they didn't want you making deals with the devil and giving your spirit away to somebody else, so they claimed it first. Yeah, whatever. And then the idea being that no, really, they claim to have ownership of the body, and you are the full faith and credit of the bankrupt corporation known as United States. Once my estate is restored, it is my intent to make claims against the bonds of the office of the governor of state of Hawaii and mayor of county of Maui, among others, for cause, including but not limited to. See, because if you only include and you don't say including but not limited to, that means that the only thing that is included is the thing that you list, and everything else is excluded. So, including but not limited to engaging in prohibited activities such as issuing proclamations, rules, and orders contrary to the Constitution they were sworn to uphold and protect, by engaging in actions or activities which constitute violations of protected rights, or by engaging in violations of law, statute, or code in their various capacities as officers, officials, employees, agents, or their delegates. Notice various state of Hawaii and county of Maui officers, officials, employees, and their delegates have committed the following violation of rights, law, statute, or code, including, but not limited to, fraud, conspiracy to defraud, engaging in fraudulent activities prohibited by law, engaging in hoaxes, contempt of Constitution, breach of oath of office, breach of mayoral and gubernatorial license, breach of trust, abuse of power, exceeding statutory limitations of government, fraudulent conveyance of language, fraudulent concealment, they're scared of that one, by the way, fraudulent creation of EE bonds, violation of due process, violation of rights protected by state and federal constitutions, law and code, violations of rights protected by international treaty, law and code, failure of agents, police, employees, delegates to properly identify themselves, failure to provide Republican form of government, claiming to be de jure when in fact de facto, claiming to be agents of, which is fraud, claiming to be agents, representative, or delegates of tax-exempt, non-taxable government entities, when in fact employees of private corporations, diminishing fundamental rights by statute, conspiracy to defraud via participation in unlawful conversion, willful conspiracy to defraud man to corporate person, voting by proxy for my trust, creating liens without notice or disclosure, misprision of felony, other violations of 18 USC, including 4, 115, 241. Oops, I put 241 twice. See, you got to proofread your stuff. All right, so 241, get that out of it's in there twice. 245, 247, 287, 911, 916, 1048, 1341, 1343, 1348, 1961, 2250. Those are the ones you like. RICO, 2250. Any man that deprives another of his liberty does so at his own peril. Notice, I demand investigations by proper agents of the corporation's company which underwrites the bonds for state of Hawaii and the county of Maui, and investigation into my claims by those vested with the authority to take appropriate action. I make no charge or complaint at this time. However, it is my intent. Therefore, I require certain information to perfect future complaints. Notice of discovery. Who administers my estate absent my consent? By what right or reason? Who claims to lien me or my property? By what right or lawful reason? Please provide facts and evidence, or evidence to support these claims and actions. Please provide any contract upon which you rely. I require the name and bond surety company. All right, almost done. I require the name of the bonding surety company or companies that underwrite, with the S in the parentheses, because it could be underwrite or underwrites, the insurance and bonds for the state of Hawaii and county of Maui and its officers and employees identified below. I require the mailing addresses and contact information for same, including phone number, fax number, and email address, and any forms required to press claims and charges. I'm not doing it now. I'm just informing you that I want this information. And by the way, I'm not going to do it if you can show me that you haven't violated my rights and you haven't broken the law and you have, right? I'm not going to do this, but I'm noticing you that I need some information here, motherfuckers. The bond and license number of David Ige and Mike Victorino. The bond and license numbers of those officers of the Maui Family District Court and employees of the judiciary courts of the state of Hawaii, with the DUNS number I put there, that were present for the cases identified below, right? Including but not limited to all bailiffs, clerks, judges, deputy attorney generals, vice principals, etc. To be clear, any and all persons present at any hearing. Right? That's your traffic violations, all that shit. Right? We're at war with the bar, motherfuckers. We are at war with them. They're at war with us. They will shoot us for fucking any fucking reason. They will shoot us in the back. They will shoot us in the face. They will shoot our fucking dogs. They will take and look the other way when they take our children. They're at war with us. And you people want to be peaceful. And you people want to bend over and take it and hope that they'll go away. They're not going to go away. The more they get away with, the more they get away with. And the more we let them get away with it, obviously, the more they try to get away with. To the point where they're fucking our children. To the point where they've got your friends and family wearing masks and getting ready to be injected with poison. There's 100 million of us that are going to be gone here soon. I don't miss them because they're fucking idiot Democrats. But I mean, at the same time, a lot of others are going to be sucked into this. But for the most part, the dimmest of the dim, the most mind-controlled, are being removed from this dimension and put into another dimension where they will be enslaved. Because they have proven that they are the mental construct that they want for that kind of enslavement. Because they have shown that they have no logic and reasoning skills. They have no discernment. They put the mask on. They are susceptible to the chemicals that are being put into their bodies. It causes them to die. Those are the ones they want. And I'm happy to get rid of them. Sorry if it's your friends and family. Okay. Further, I require the names, licenses, and bond numbers of all persons related to this deposition that they did without my consent on my children. Anyway, all right. Federal agents, okay, notice, federal agents and agencies have been or will be informed, right? I'm not going to ambush you. I'm letting you know. Notice, I am under no duty or obligation to fill out any fucking form. It doesn't say fucking. Notice, no bills of attainder. Your Constitution states so plainly. It has come to my attention that U.S. administrative courts have no power to fine or incarcerate men or women except by consensual binding contract. Oh, look, I spelled consensual wrong. Let me fix that. Hold on. Consensual. There you go. Contract. See, that's what I mean. You've consented. You signed it was fraudulent, but according to them, let those who wish to be deceived be deceived. You signed the fucking contract. They got the contract. You didn't rescind it. You didn't say anything about it. Fuck you, right? Okay, so so everybody that's sitting in prison right now, yeah, they're sitting there voluntarily. Right? They signed the contract. It is by consent. Okay, they cannot hold this thing as surety for debt. Okay. Let's see. We have no contract, and I do not consent. If I am wrong, please correct me with valid signed contracts or facts and evidence to the contrary. Right? If I'm a fucking liar, prove I'm a liar. If I'm not right, or if I've got this wrong, here's your opportunity to correct me. You may not deprive me of my property or my rights to pursue life, liberty, or happiness by statute, code, or proclamations, or rules, or orders without consent or contract. They know this. You got to tell them this. Bonds have been written fraudulently upon my estate without my knowledge or consent due to non-disclosure and fraudulent concealment. Provide. I'm not asking, right? I'm not begging. Provide. Science relied on to declare a state of emergency for a disease with a survivability of 99.9% plus. Science relied on that masks prevent any transmission of the so-called Rona. I called it by name here, spelled it out properly. But anyway, virus that contradicts. Ooh. See, I got to go over this, and I got to go over this again. Contradicts the manufacturer's disclaimer, which explicitly and clearly state that this product does not provide protection against virus. Proof that the PCR tests and methods used for creating cases in the state of Hawaii were accurate and reliable. Yep. Prove that and provide me that evidence. And if you have it, I don't sue you. If you don't have it, you're fucked and you ain't got it. Notice, failure by police to properly and formally identify themselves by name and badge number in writing, business card, constitutes violations of my due process rights and removes any claim or right to imminent immunity and or sovereign immunity, which is always amusing because they make fun of the sovereign. Oh, you're a sovereign. But the first thing they do if you come after them is claim sovereign immunity, right? They had imminent or sovereign immunity is the first thing you're going to fall back on. You must remove that from them so that they can't claim that you, right? Anyway, then you could see, and they're going to tell them 3 times. And so you knew, you knew, and you fucking knew. All right. By said police officers or any other agent or employee or representative of the state of Hawaii or county of Maui. Let me read that from the beginning because I interrupt myself in the beginning. All right. Failure by police. All right. Because this is, you have a right to due process. Simple. Right. And it starts at point of contact. All right. So due process right is a constitutional violation. These things come with $25 million fines. Just so you know, $25 million, according to their own codes and statutes. Failure by police to properly and formally identify themselves by name and badge number in writing, business card, constitutes a violation of my due process rights and removes any claim or right to imminent immunity and or sovereign immunity by said police officers or any other officer, agent, employee, or representative of state of Hawaii and county of Maui. Notice, and see, these are all going to be anyway written in big red letters. Notice. There are but 3 instances wherein police officers may accost men and women unbidden during and after a crime being committed or when a crime is about to be committed. That's fucking it. Name another time when they can come talk to you, right? Unbidden. Now, if they're just your friend or they're just being friendly, that's one thing. And you're under no right or obligation to have to give them a license or talk to them or answer any of their fucking questions if you're just standing there and not doing anything wrong. Meantime, we got stop and frisk in New York and other places. Anyway, among many other rights, I have the right to travel without license. I am aware, and see, among many other rights, because my listing my rights here does not exclude any other right. Among many other rights, I have the right to travel without license. I am aware of the constitutions of 1776 and 1871 and their 9th and 10th amendments in particular, as well as the Hawaii State Constitution. These documents conferred no rights to me, but protected my inalienable and unalienable rights bestowed upon me by our Creator. I am aware that I am not party to, but protected by said constitutions. You, however, are. Correct me if I am wrong. Do take due care and do take due care and do take note of legal documents attached, particularly my fee schedule and identification. Notice, your response is required by law and is not optional. Silence agrees. Therefore, non-response will be construed as tacit agreement that any future allegations based on the violations described herein are valid and have merit. This is not a complaint. CC State Attorney General, State of Hawaii, Secretary of State of Hawaii, Sheriff's Department, County of Maui. All right. I haven't sent it yet, but it's about to be sent. The idea being is that you got to give them notice. You got to be fair about this. You got to, and I got to put a couple of other things in there that I've become aware of since I wrote that, and you ought to let them know that again, at the very least, you have no contract. You are a living man or woman. I started off the other video and this video by reading the simple thing that they may not. The only thing they can work with or have effect on or govern or control is other legal fictions that have consented. You have to have a contract with them. Simple. This is not rocket surgery. Right? I mean, this is a very, very, very simple. Let me read it to you again because it was in the other one. Let's see. The law of the land. Okay. The general misconception is that any state statute passed by the legislatures bearing the appearance of law constitutes the law of the land. It's not. The United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and any statute to be valid must be in agreement. It is impossible for a law which violates the Constitution to be valid. Impossible. It's not possible. This is succinctly stated as follows. All laws which are repugnant to the Constitution are null and void. Mayberry versus Madison. What's hard? Anything hard about that? I don't think there's anything hard about that. All right, and then now, in light of everything that I just read to you, make sense of this simple statement. Again, just remember, God is giving us rough waters because he knows our enemies can't swim. Supreme Court of the United States, 1795. Inasmuch as every government is an artificial person, an abstraction, and a creature of mind only, a government can interface only with other artificial persons. The imaginary, having neither actuality nor substance, is foreclosed from creating and attaining parity with the tangible. The legal manifestations of this is that no government, as well as any law, agency, aspect, court, etc., can concern itself with anything other than corporate artificial persons and the contracts between them. Okay, Crime Stoppers, there's your dose for today. Came in 2 parts. Sorry about not having my shit together. But get your shit together. We are at war with these people, and it's time to press the attack. Right? And we're going to do so peacefully. We don't have to pick up guns. We don't have to shoot. Right? This. Pen mightier than sword. All right. E pluribus unum. Educate self, educate others. I talk to you guys soon.